the Twitter report for Elon Musk.
Okay, well, what the fuck is going on Twitter? Because I locked my account. I'm still tweeting, but it's gone. They suspended Dean Baker. Dean Baker, who is an economist, CEPR. He's one of the few economists that doesn't make my eyes roll back in my head. Dean Baker? He's one of the original OG bloggers. They suspended him?
So here's what's going on, and I think it's related to what you were talking about earlier. You might have heard that there was a threat that there was going to be a removing the Twitter from the Apple Store. Did you hear that?
Yes, I did hear that.
Okay. So there was also a story the other day about how the EU, the commissioner, said that Twitter needs to follow the EU regulations about hate speech, moderation, etc.
That's right.
And so there was an interview with this. They talked about this. And then yesterday, there was a post from Musk saying, well, I had a nice talk with Tim Cook down at
Tim
Apple.
Tim Apple. Yeah.
Right. And so what's happening is, because of the way that he laid off at all these people, he then says, I'm going to rely on the AI, on the policies that still exist. And the person who is in charge of the trust and safety policy says that's not going to work because AIs aren't very smart. They will find somebody like Dean Baker because of something that they said earlier, and they will ban them.
Hello.
And there's no easy human being repeal process because that takes somebody to look at it, a human being to look at it.
That's right. And they don't have any working there anymore.
Exactly. So what Musk does, he says, hey, they say I'm supposed to do content moderation. I'm going to crank up the moderation on the AI. And also I'm going to take people to self-report. So like someone says, hey, I don't like Dean Baker. He's Antifa. And they will report him. That kicks him off. It also kicks off a bunch of the Nazis, since supposedly they were kicked off too. And there is no appeal process because all the people were fired. So that might have been what happened with Dean Baker. And the point that I want to make to people in terms of Twitter is we have to remember that a tremendous amount of harm is going to come from Musk letting all these people on. There's not going to necessarily be a harm from cutting people off like, Dean Baker, but there should be something done because the other day I heard Alejandro Cabrera, she was the one who brought up that the Apple Store might kick him off. Why? Because the terms of service in the Apple Store says you can't have hate speech. You can't, do these terrible things. Right. Otherwise, we won't let you on.
Hello. So it would be them, Elon Musk's Twitter, going against the rules, breaking the rules, and thus his app can't be in the App Store.
Right. And so here's how this thing's working. This is the other thing that I want to point out because I work with Silicon Valley. I know here's what they'll do. He's going to kick the can down the road. He said, oh, yeah, totally, Tim. We're going to follow your rules and just give us an excuse to keep it going for a while. Keep it. Let us experiment. And he put out a tweet yesterday, tweet 2.0, that said, our new Twitter, we're just trying things. Now, it ignores the harm that's going to come to all these people because he's trying things. Twitter had rules in place. They still have them, but they're broken. They don't work well, and people will be harmed. And the only pressures that we're having now, it was like the Apple people saying, use those rules. We have them written down. Or the EU saying, we will ban you in all of the EU if you don't follow these rules. And they are articulated. They're not just opinions. They're very specific. And by the way, I spent the other day reading the Twitter rules, and they are been developed over 10 years. They anticipate certain things like gaming the systems and bots. And so they should be done. This is what we're looking for and hoping. I think Musk is not going to do it unless there's some kind of pain to him.
Of course.
But again, we're ignoring the pain to all the people that he could stop. He doesn't have to keep doing this stuff.
No.
But he's doing it, and he should pay a price to get back to something safe.
Absolutely. And now there are reports that Twitter can't meet the payroll. Even after they've fired 3/4 of the staff, nobody works there anymore, but the few people who remain aren't getting paid on time.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing, for a man who's supposed to be smart, I've seen no evidence of it.
Well, and the other thing is smart is there's engineering type smart, and then there's marketing smart, and there's personal emotional intelligence smart.
Common sense smart.
Yeah. And we're giving him, and this is the thing, the media, I think, has a hard time talking about this because it gets framed as a speech issue. And it's not necessarily a speech issue if you're talking about opinions or whatever. That's why I think we need to focus on how he has defined it.
Yeah.
And look at the Apple rules too, because those aren't just, for anybody. That's one of the rules that have been articulated, and it's not, I have a different opinion. It's,
right.
I will come and kill you if you do this. That's what will get them kicked off.
I hear you. Hey, Spocko, I got to run because this is Thursday and Howie's coming along. Yay. I'm just wondering, are you mixing up the dirty Debbies today? Because I need a triple.
I don't. What?
The dirty here. You listen. We get the dirty Debbies, and you get free sweet and low. I'll talk to you later.
Are you a multinational corporation hungry for a treat? Well, come on down to Schmucky Chucky's, where you'll personally be seated by Chuck Schumer himself.